Hello and welcome back to Conspiracy Theory Review. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that notification bell to support the channel. In the summer of 1950, the Army embarked on a secret operation known as Operation Sea Spray. The goal was to test the effects of biological agents on a populated area without the knowledge or consent of the residents. The chosen city was San Francisco, a bustling metropolis on the west coast of the United States. Under the cover of darkness, a Navy ship sailed into the San Francisco Bay, carrying with it a payload of biological agents the Army claimed to believe harmless to humans. The agents were released into the air from September 20th until September 27th, where they quickly spread throughout the city. The Army determined that the city had received enough of the agents for all 800,000 residents to receive at least 5,000 particles based on monitoring equipment throughout the city. The residents of San Francisco went about their daily lives, unaware of the danger that lurked in the air around them. As the days passed, reports began to trickle in of strange illnesses affecting the residents of San Francisco. People complained of respiratory problems, skin rashes, and other mysterious symptoms. The hospitals were overwhelmed with patients, and doctors struggled to understand what was causing the outbreak. Stanford Hospital received 11 patients with very rare, serious urinary tract infections, one of whom died. The outbreak was unusual enough that the doctors wrote it up for a medical journal. All 11 had recent medical procedures, leading the doctors to believe the infection source was inside the hospital. There has not been a causal relation established conclusively between the release of the agents and the spike in pneumonia in the Bay Area. Surely this was purely coincidental and had nothing to do with inhaling biological agents. Move along. Nothing to see here. These agents were combined with phenol and an anthrax simulant and sprayed across South Dorset by UK and US military as part of the DICE trials between 1971 and 1975. No evidence has been found that the Army alerted any health officials before releasing the agents. Doctors later wondered if the experiment was responsible for the heart valve infections among intravenous drug users in the 60s and 70s. Remember the one man who had the rare urinary tract infection that died. He died of a heart valve infection. Again, mere coincidence. Meanwhile, the Army monitored the situation closely, collecting data on the effects of the biological agents on the unsuspecting population. They watched as the city descended into chaos, with fear and uncertainty gripping the residents. Eventually, the truth about Operation Sea Spray began to emerge. The media got wind of the story, and outrage spread throughout the country. How could the government have allowed such a reckless and dangerous experiment to take place? The Army scrambled to do damage control, issuing statements denying any wrongdoing and downplaying the severity of the situation. But the damage had been done, and the people of San Francisco demanded answers. In the aftermath of Operation Sea Spray, investigations were launched, and Senate subcommittee hearings were held in 1977 to determine who was responsible for the debacle. Army officials claimed pure coincidence between the release of the biological agents and the sudden increase in pneumonia and cited the hospital as the source of the urinary tract infections. The Army came under intense scrutiny, and questions were raised about the ethics of using biological agents on unsuspecting civilians. The Army also divulged other biological tests in the 50s and 60s during the hearings. Researchers released sriracha in Panama City and Key West, Florida. Bacillus globigile was spread in San Francisco, New York, Washington, D.C., along the Pennsylvania Turnpike and other locations. Zinc cadmium sulfide, now a known cancer-causing agent, was released in Minnesota to observe the spread. Particles were found in New York State over 1,000 miles away. New York spread Bacillus subtilis variant Niger in the subway system, spreading it for miles. Bacillus globigile was released at Washington's National Airport and Greyhound bus terminal. The family of the man who died filed suit against the federal government claiming negligence and is responsible for his death. Though appealing all the way to the Supreme Court, Their case was denied because the bacteria used in the test was not proven to be responsible for his death. As the dust settled, the residents of San Francisco were left to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives. Many had been permanently scarred by the effects of the biological agents, and the city would never be the same again. Operation Sea Spray served as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked government power and the lengths to which some would go in the name of national security. It was a dark chapter in the history of the Army, one that would haunt the agency for years to come. But for the people of San Francisco, it was a tragedy that would never be forgotten. The scars left by Operation Sea Spray would serve as a constant reminder of the dangers of unchecked government power and the need for transparency and accountability in all aspects of governance. The story of Operation Sea Spray faded into the annals of history, a cautionary tale of the perils of secrecy and the consequences of unchecked power. The residents of San Francisco would never forget the day that their city was sprayed with biological agents, and the world would never forget the dark legacy of Operation Sea Spray. People wonder why conspiracy theories exist and why people don't trust the government, even after learning things like this are true. Thank you for your support. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more fun conspiracy content. What other conspiracy theories would you like to see?